Tech Talk training consists of 5 to 8 minute instructional videos accompanied by a brief test that helps reinforce the learning process. And we constantly focus on providing an inviting and painless learning experience that values your time and gets right to the point. Technical topics include interfaces, microphones, DAWs, mobile recording, monitors, wireless technology, data storage, live sound, the importance of acoustical treatment, and more. Plus, we also offer product-specific training sessions that have been produced in conjunction with many of the manufacturers we distribute. Tech Talk training videos start each topic at entry level, with subsequent videos providing additional depth. They're geared at helping those who might have some gaps in their knowledge, and they're also an excellent refresher for those with more substantial technical background. Each video provides talking points and insights to help keep customers interested. Also, we frequently offer questions for customers that will help identify the best products for their specific needs. Tech Talk training is designed to help increase sales by building confidence and providing a functional understanding of modern retail products. Everything we do in the training process is focused on helping music store owners, managers, and staff increase their product and technical knowledge, specifically to facilitate better connection with and service to the customer. And ultimately, Tech Talk training exists to help you succeed in your business. The best way to access Tech Talk training is through Hal Leonard's Dealer Access website. Simply log on, click the Resources tab, select Digital Resources, scroll down to the Tech Talk section, and click on Tech Talk Training. We'll also be including links to new Tech Talk videos in our monthly Tech Talk emails. If you're having troubles finding them, please contact your Hal Leonard rep for assistance.
So the last thing that I want to talk about is the legacy versions of Pro Tools and how to get current. As of February 16th, we have a new SKU that we're calling the reinstatement SKU. It's a upgrade from a legacy version, and those versions include 9, 10, 11, any version of M-Powered, any version of Avid Express, not the in-music version, which is done by M-Audio, but the Avid version of Express. We're calling it reinstatement now instead of an upgrade because it's confusing when you have an upgrade plan. It's the upgrades or the dot releases, so reinstatement is the term. And it's $299, and it comes again with 9, 10, 11, M-Powered, Avid Express, and does not include Pro Tools LE. So if you have Pro Tools LE, you need to either purchase the $599 perpetual SKU or the $299 subscription SKU. There's no way to upgrade any longer from Pro Tools LE. This is a perpetual version. When you upgrade or you reinstate, you do get the full version. So it's like buying the $599 SKU, but we're giving you a break on the price because you owned a previous version of Pro Tools. Now, the difference is it does not include bonus plugins or support. So that's why I have the plus here. If you wanted to add on the bonus plugin and support plan, that's just $99. Some people won't want the bonus plugins. Like, for example, me, I probably wouldn't get the bonus plugin and support plan, but that's just me. So I'd pay $299 to get reinstated. And then at the end of the year, you are dumped back into the bucket of the renewal process. So you can, for $99 a year, you can get renewal each year and get upgrades, updates all year long. Or if you wanted to get the bonus plugin and support plan on top of that, you take $99 plus $99, and you could get both of those for for as long as you want. Now, if you stop paying for the renewal, let's say 1 year, you know what? I don't like the upgrades, the updates that they did last year. I'm going to stop paying for this. If you were if you get off the renewal, you're dumped back into here for $299, and you'll need to pay $299 to get back on the plan.
Oh, that's an important point. So you can't just jump in and out of that annual update plan.
No, and you get plenty of notice in your app manager that the the renewal is expiring. Like I've got a code in my account that's telling me that every time that I open Pro Tools in the App Manager, hey, you're going to expire soon. You need to re-update. That's all I want to cover today. I wanted to make sure that you understood the SKUs, what we're doing now, the small changes that we've made in 2016, and these should be stuck for a while. We're not going to have any other changes anytime soon on the SKUs.
Now it's time to take the test that accompanies this video, and be sure to fill out the contact info so we can keep in touch. We'll alert you when new Tech Talk training tutorials are released. We're in the process of creating a complete series of training videos covering topics including interfaces, microphones, digital audio workstations, mobile recording, wireless technology, monitor systems, and more. And we'll even be creating several product-specific tutorials. If you have comments or suggestions for helpful topics, please email us at techtalk@HalLeonard.com. Prior to the modern digital audio workstation, the recording studio was a place primarily for elite musicians and technicians. But today, every one of us can use the same software that the best engineers and producers use every day. For software ranging in cost from $50 to $600, anyone can access technical power that used to be impossible to access at any price. Tape-based recording is linear, meaning that you build your recording on a timeline from the beginning to the end. Edits are destructive because they involve actually cutting tape, but the DAW offers non-linear recording, where anything can be recorded anytime and placed, moved, cut, copied, and pasted anywhere along the timeline. And DAW edits are non-destructive. In fact, on a modern DAW, it takes a very concerted and intentional effort just to create a destructive edit. The DAW that's best for one person isn't necessarily the DAW that's best for another. When assessing the best DAW, it's helpful to ask these questions. What's your creative style? Are you a songwriter or a string arranger? Do you record live bands or make beats with virtual instruments? What's your budget? Acoustica's Mixcraft is reasonably priced and has a lot of great features, but it's a PC-only program. Studio One from PreSonus costs more, but it's been catching the attention of many audio professionals and is written on new code with an amazing amount of power and a very user-friendly interface. Abbott's Pro Tools Perpetual license is at the top of the price range, but it's been around long enough to have matured into the DAW of choice for most commercial studios. Propellerhead's Reason, along with the rest of the DAW manufacturers, offers a range of pricing depending on the feature set. Although sharing some similarities with other DAWs, Reason stands alone with its flexible virtual instruments, patching, routing, and workflow options. Cubase Elements Artist and Pro let the user naturally flow from the streamlined yet powerful Cubase Elements to the more robust Artist version and ultimately to Cubase Pro with a feature set designed to help musicians capture their creativity on the Mac or Windows platform. Cakewalk offers a wide range of software options, from the very streamlined and efficient Music Creator to Sonar's Artist, Professional, and Platinum versions. This PC-only DAW software is filled with features and has been a long-time favorite of Windows users around the world. Are you using a Mac or a PC? Some software will work on Macs and PCs, some will only work on one or the other. What's your musical background? For example, if you have a traditional music background, notation might be very helpful in creating and editing musical passages. But if you can't read music, a solid notation system isn't a feature you'll care about. What about DAW software that's free? There are really three main types of free software. DAW software written using open source code is meant to be free and will remain free, but it lacks support, compatibility with the professional world, and a reliable upgrade path to stay current with the industry. Gateway DAW software, such as Pro Tools First and Studio One Free, offer users a way to get used to a world-class DAW by providing a minimal feature set but within the framework of the commercial versions. These free DAWs don't time out, and they offer an excellent chance to see if the graphical user interface is intuitive and if it suits the user's creative style. Virtually all manufacturers offer free trial or demo versions, which are usually fully functional, but they time out at the end of 30 days or so, causing the user to either purchase the DAW or lose it. What's your technical background? One user might love following a maze of endless features. Other users might only be interested in visually stringing together MIDI and audio loops to build a beat, and there are quite a few who want the technology to be as transparent and well hidden as possible. How much collaboration do you do with other musicians? Do you work with musicians who live in another city, country, or state? Do you share files? Does everyone come to you to work, or do you collaborate online over long distances? If you're collaborating a lot with the same people, it's very helpful if everyone is using the same software. What types of projects do you work on? Do you do small projects of less than 16 tracks, but you want the highest possible audio quality? Do you record large groups with lots of overdubs? Do you record classical ensembles? Do you just write songs and you need high-quality, simple demos to pitch your tunes? Will you be playing a lot of your own music, or will you be recording other people? These are all important questions to ask because the perfect DAW for one person might be an insurmountable stumbling block to another. Contact your Hal Leonard rep to receive helpful and up-to-date recommendations for matching current DAW software with customers' needs. A digital audio workstation includes the software and the fundamental hardware connected to it, most importantly the interface. The DAW can be fed by microphones and can deliver the output to monitor speakers, but at the core is the software interface combo. Functionally, if someone is working at a digital audio workstation, that implies that he or she is operating the engine that drives the studio. The smallest DAW consists of a laptop and DAW software using the onboard inputs and outputs. In this case, the computer's I/O is acting as the interface. If a mic is connected to a laptop mic input and the audio is monitored on headphones from the laptop's headphone output, that not only classifies as a DAW, but by classic pre-1980s recording studio standards, it offers many times the amount of processing and instrument options, plus loads of sound shaping and effects creating options that weren't even possible in the best of classic analog studios. Even the smallest DAW setup like this is capable of creating world-class music, especially using virtual instruments and loops. Types of DAWs. Computer software DAWs. This is the primary category of digital audio workstation for normal application. MIDI-only recording software was first on the scene in the early and mid-80s. It took a while for manufacturers to include audio and loop-based recording in their software feature sets, but today, because of the competitive marketplace, virtually all software manufacturers have grown together in their feature sets. The primary difference between modern DAWs is the look and feel of the graphical user interface and the different ways they accommodate creative workflows. Modern DAWs are expected to record and edit audio, record and edit MIDI data, and provide an on-screen mixer that can be accessed by an external controller, graphic waveform editing, all processor types, nearly endless routing potential, virtually unlimited tracks, or unlimited tracks for that matter, export options for all the major audio file formats, capacity to use third-party plugins, and they should be able to connect to and sync with a variety of other audio and video playback devices. The integrated DAW. An integrated DAW contains the hardware mixer, proprietary software, digital recorder, data storage device, and all of the inputs and outputs on the same piece of hardware. They typically offer effects and dynamics processing and signal routing, but don't have a way to use third-party plugins. These devices make sense for some applications, but they lack the flexibility and adaptability over time of a computer-based system, so they've become less popular. Mobile device-based DAWs. The mobile device-based DAW is much like any other computer-based DAW because it still has a computer at its core with software in control of the recording and manipulation of digital audio, MIDI, and plugins. The difference, and the reason it probably should at least be its own subcategory, is that the supporting OS is written for cell phones and tablets. The number of apps available for iOS and Android is staggering, and the tools that are designed to attach to these devices are minimalistic in their physical size but very powerful in function. Plugins have become extremely important to the modern DAW. In many ways, they are what give the software its unique personality. Each manufacturer has its own set of proprietary plugins for everything from EQ to reverb to signal analysis. There's ample power in these proprietary plugins to create an interesting and polished production. However, it's often the third-party plugin manufacturers that can help the user take a DAW to the next creative level. Join us in DAWs 102, where we discuss categories and types of plugins, virtual instruments, rewiring Reason into Pro Tools or Studio One, and controllers. Now it's time to take the test that accompanies this video, and be sure to fill out the contact info so we can keep in touch. We'll alert you when new Tech Talk training tutorials are released. We're in the process of creating a complete series of training videos covering topics including interfaces, microphones, digital audio workstations, mobile recording, wireless technology, monitor systems, and more. And we'll even be creating several product-specific tutorials. If you have comments or suggestions for helpful topics, please email us at techtalk@HalLeonard.com. Tech Talk training consists of 5 to 8 minute instructional videos accompanied by a brief test that helps reinforce the learning process. And we constantly focus on providing an inviting and painless learning experience that values your time and gets right to the point. Technical topics include interfaces, microphones, DAWs, mobile recording, monitors, wireless technology, data storage, live sound, the importance of acoustical treatment, and more. Plus, we also offer product-specific training sessions that have been produced in conjunction with many of the manufacturers we distribute. Tech Talk training videos start each topic at entry level, with subsequent videos providing additional depth. They're geared at helping those who might have some gaps in their knowledge, and they're also an excellent refresher for those with more substantial technical background. Each video provides talking points and insights to help keep customers interested. Also, we frequently offer questions for customers that will help identify the best products for their specific needs. Tech Talk training is designed to help increase sales by building confidence and providing a functional understanding of modern retail products. Everything we do in the training process is focused on helping music store owners, managers, and staff increase their product and technical knowledge, specifically to facilitate better connection with and service to the customer. And ultimately, Tech Talk training exists to help you succeed in your business. The best way to access Tech Talk training is through Hal Leonard's Dealer Access website. Simply log on, click the Resources tab, select Digital Resources, scroll down to the Tech Talk section, and click on Tech Talk Training. We'll also be including links to new Tech Talk videos in our monthly Tech Talk emails. If you're having troubles finding them, please contact your Hal Leonard rep for assistance. Welcome to Audio MIDI Interfaces, a 100-level starter. Today we're covering the most basic aspects of the Audio MIDI interface, the black box that connects mics and instruments to the computer, and the computer to speakers and headphones. These boxes come in many sizes and shapes, and they might even be in the form of a card that goes inside your computer. Granted, most computers have headphone outputs and microphone inputs, but they don't really offer good enough sound quality for someone who wants their music to sound impressive. So the audio interface is a key system component for every musician and engineer who cares about the sounds they're creating. The interface connects to the computer via one of the following digital formats: USB 1, USB 2, USB 3, Firewire 400, Firewire 800, Thunderbolt 1, 2, and 3. All these formats carry digital data to and from the DAW, but some just carry it faster than others. The current standard for connecting an interface to the computer is USB 3 and Thunderbolt, either of which is extremely capable of carrying many tracks of digital audio along with video. In fact, there are still a lot of USB 2 and Firewire interfaces available, and they're also very capable of supporting large digital audio and video projects. Most interfaces contain several types of digital and analog inputs and outputs. A device that converts the analog or digital input signal to an analog or digital output signal is called an I/O, which stands for input and output. Digital interfaces contain a very wide range of I/O capacity, from 1 or 2 inputs and a stereo output to a full-blown professional system that's able to play back up to 768 tracks and accommodate up to 192 simultaneous physical ins and outs. The analog signal that comes from an instrument or microphone must be converted to digital data so it can be processed in the digital domain, the DAW. The analog to digital converter, denoted A/D or ADC, performs this task. The digital data that comes from the DAW must be converted to an analog signal that will be amplified so we can hear it. The digital to analog converter, denoted D/A or DAC, performs this task. All useful audio interfaces have at least one balanced XLR microphone input capable of supplying 48-volt phantom power to microphones that require it. Microphones provide a relatively weak signal that needs to be boosted by a preamplifier to be compatible with the interface signal path. Instrument inputs typically use a 1/4-inch TS phone connector and are best suited to the signal that comes from an electric or bass guitar. These instruments provide a signal that's stronger than a mic level signal, but still can require a little boost. Line inputs on most interfaces use 1/4-inch TRS phone connectors and are best suited and matched for use with outboard processors, mixers, and outboard mic preamps. Most modern interfaces take advantage of combo connectors, which are relatively new. They're able to receive either XLR or 1/4-inch inputs in the same jack. This ingenious design simply uses the space surrounded by the XLR pins for a hole in which to plug a male 1/4-inch phone connector. Most small interfaces offer a main stereo output that can be connected to monitor speakers, and also a headphone output. Since most recordings simply require a stereo mix, a lot can be accomplished with this 2-channel output. Even though the DAW might contain 50 tracks, they're all just mixed down to stereo. At the next level, interfaces offer 4 or more outputs that can be routed internally through the use of a software utility. These outputs might be used to feed the stereo mains, and the other 2 channels could feed the monitor system or even an analog mixer. Mid-level and high-end interfaces typically offer a couple different types of digital inputs. SPDIF is a stereo I/O connection, and the optical digital connections are usually multi-track in 8-track I/O bundles. MIDI facilitates a lot of things, including virtual instrument controllers, mix automation, and everything that happens with a keyboard controller. A USB connection from the keyboard, controller, or other controlling device also uses MIDI, although it's within the USB connection, not via the standard 5-pin MIDI jack. Whether MIDI or audio data, it takes a certain amount of time for the original analog signal to be converted to digital data, processed by the DAW, and converted back to analog sound so that we can hear it. That time delay is called latency. Latency is annoying during the tracking process because the performer hears the sound he or she has produced a few or several milliseconds late in the headphones. The amount of delay, the latency, is determined by factors such as the computer's processing power, settings in the basic interface configuration, and the processing demands of active plugins and effects. Some interfaces provide zero latency, the ideal, which is just like hearing the sound in real time. USB interfaces tend to work seamlessly with Mac OS and often with Windows systems. But there are instances when a set of instructions, a tiny software utility, is needed for the interface and computer to work together. If your system needs it, that set of instructions, called a driver, is a mandatory part of a functioning system. Many larger interfaces include 2 connectors on the back labeled clock, word clock, or sync. The clock in and out connections are used frequently in larger systems that incorporate multiple digital devices. Digital devices must work together in perfect sync, all moving from sample to sample at the same rate and perfectly in time. If the devices aren't perfectly synchronized, there'll be pops, clicks, and dropouts in the audio. The clock connections need to be connected together with one device designated as the master. When all is well with the system, each device follows the master clock, sample for sample. Now it's time to take the test that accompanies this video, and be sure to fill out the contact info so we can keep in touch. We'll alert you when new Tech Talk training tutorials are released. We're in the process of creating a complete series of training videos covering topics including interfaces, microphones, digital audio workstations, mobile recording, wireless technology, monitor systems, and more. And we'll even be creating several product-specific tutorials. If you have comments or suggestions for helpful topics, please email us at techtalk@HalLeonard.com. Tech Talk training consists of 5 to 8 minute instructional videos accompanied by a brief test that helps reinforce the learning process. And we constantly focus on providing an inviting and painless learning experience that values your time and gets right to the point. Technical topics include interfaces, microphones, DAWs, mobile recording, monitors, wireless technology, data storage, live sound, the importance of acoustical treatment, and more. Plus, we also offer product-specific training sessions that have been produced in conjunction with many of the manufacturers we distribute. Tech Talk training videos start each topic at entry level, with subsequent videos providing additional depth. They're geared at helping those who might have some gaps in their knowledge, and they're also an excellent refresher for those with more substantial technical background. Each video provides talking points and insights to help keep customers interested. Also, we frequently offer questions for customers that will help identify the best products for their specific needs. Tech Talk training is designed to help increase sales by building confidence and providing a functional understanding of modern retail products. Everything we do in the training process is focused on helping music store owners, managers, and staff increase their product and technical knowledge, specifically to facilitate better connection with and service to the customer. And ultimately, Tech Talk training exists to help you succeed in your business. The best way to access Tech Talk training is through Hal Leonard's Dealer Access website. Simply log on, click the Resources tab, select Digital Resources, scroll down to the Tech Talk section, and click on Tech Talk Training. We'll also be including links to new Tech Talk videos in our monthly Tech Talk emails. If you're having troubles finding them, please contact your Hal Leonard rep for assistance.
So I did want to mention Pro Tools 12 to 12.5. I like to say that we've put our money where our mouth is as far as the release of Pro Tools 12. When it first came out, people said, well, why would I buy Pro Tools for $5.99, or why would I upgrade to this version that doesn't have any features? And they were right. At the beginning, it didn't have a lot of features. However, now we do. And with the release of cloud collaboration, which is a groundbreaking feature function of Pro Tools, it is well worth your while to get on board now. So a couple of these really cool features that people have been asking for is the track freeze and track commit. So track freeze, simply put, you can freeze all the plugins on your track and render the audio based upon what's on your track. So if you have 5 plugins, you want to freeze up some CPU power, you click the little snowflake on your track, and it freezes everything in place, and you can unfreeze it at any time. Now, track commit, the main difference between that is between track freeze and track commit is that track commit, you can commit, for example, a selected piece of audio, or if you want to commit up to a certain plugin. Track freeze is on and off, and other softwares do track freeze. However, they don't do track commit. You can't, commit up to a certain plugin. So there's a wide range of options, the way that you can interact with committing and freezing the tracks. And people have been asking for this, and we delivered and then some with adding commit as well in 12.3.
One question on this. With track freeze or track commit, once you perform those functions, do you need the plugin anymore? Do you still have to have the plugin in 3 years?
No. If you're a traditional Pro Tools user, it's kind of like bouncing the files, but it happens by a push of a button.
Right.
So, you bounce a file, and in the past you have to wait the entire length of the time that it bounces, and then you deactivate all the plugins. It's essentially doing that, except it's just one button that you could turn on and off, so you can reverse it. Yeah. So yes, you could remove that plugin from the track. That committed track will still have that committed audio, the frozen audio.
Does track commit do the same thing then?
It essentially does the same thing, except track commit, you get more options. Right. So freeze is a snowflake button on the track that you can turn it on and off. Track commit, you can do things like highlight a section and just commit the plugins of that particular section, or commit the first 3 plugins in your insert chain and not the last 2, which gives you a lot of different ways to use this feature. You don't have to turn it on and off as Freeze does.
Yeah, in case somebody's worrying about whether or not they need to own that plugin for the next 10 years so that their track will sound the same when they go back to do the dance remix, they're covered on that.
They're exactly right. And one of the big reasons I mention it is that it works really well with cloud collaboration. So let me explain.
Okay.
First and foremost, cloud collaboration is a way to work with anyone else in the world, to collaborate with anyone else in the world in near real time over the internet. So this has existed in the past, and you can do this in different ways currently, and you can have a Dropbox and you can share a Dropbox. However, this is all done inside the Pro Tools environment. So if you were playing a bass guitar and I asked you to play a few pieces on it, I can share of my track just certain tracks. So I can share like the guitar, the drums, and just like 5 or 6 tracks, or maybe even 3 tracks with you. And then what that'll do is put it up on the cloud. So we have a cloud service now. And now I invite you to my project. So we have projects and sessions now. Projects are on the cloud, sessions are local. So that means you can have a session locally, and you can work with me on the project in the cloud. You record your bass guitar, a download button will appear on my screen saying, do you want to accept the recording? I click that button, and your recording shows up on my track near instantaneously. So it's very fast, really slick way to collaborate. The best way to check it out is to really just do it yourself and check it out. It is available now. If you have Pro Tools, have purchased Pro Tools, 12.5 is available for you at no additional charge. You can go and try it right now. It's a really slick way to collaborate with people that you've been working with in the past.
That sounds really cool. Is there an additional charge for that, or is it just a free service?
There is a free version of it. So the free version is 3 projects, 500 megabytes. As I mentioned, you can do a lot with 500 megs. You'd be surprised. So try it out. There's no additional charge for that. Now, if you want to up that, you get 5 projects and 20 gigs for $9.99 a month. And when I say projects, again, it's what you share. So project is on the cloud. So you can have as many sessions as you want locally. But projects that you're working on, you can only have 3 on the free, 5 on the $9.99 a month, which includes 20 gigs of storage. And then $24.99 a month includes 10 projects and 60 gigs.
You're not limited to that number of projects to work on in a month. You're just limited to that number of projects that can exist on the cloud at once, right? For the free version, you can have 3 projects at once, but you could go through several projects in a month.
Absolutely. You can get through as many projects as you want. They're your projects. So, you can go work on one, work on another, on a third one, and then say, well, the first project I was working on with so-and-so, I don't need that anymore. So I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to start a new project. So cool. It's just up to 3 projects that you're working at 3 at a time. The best way to check it out is really to download it and check it out. So this, again, is available for anybody that purchases now or anytime in the future. It just comes at no additional charge for what you purchase of Pro Tools.
When did 12.0 come out?
I believe it was NAB last year. So we're pushing on a year right now. So you can see all the stuff that we've released since then. Some of it's not very sexy, but some of it is, like track freeze, track commit, and cloud collaboration. Our people have been asking for track freeze for years, and we finally delivered and beyond what we promised.
Yeah, that's a really cool way to do track freeze for sure. And the VCA masters, I thought, was a really great inclusion. Most programs, you'd have to wait until the next revision to get all those new features.
That's exactly right, and that's the reason that we did this model. It's actually, at the end of the day, you're going to get more for your money, and you're going to get more options. And the reason being, in the past, the way we've done it, we've had multiple teams working on different features and functions of Pro Tools. They gather up all those features and functions, put them in a package, like let's say it's 8.5, and wait 18 months for everybody to finish, and then they attach a $3.99 or a $2.99 price tag to it. And so instead of every 18 months having a paid upgrade, for $99 a year, you get whatever comes out in that year. And those teams that were working on the features and functions, like, for example, cloud collaboration, when that team finishes, we just upload it and it becomes available for you. And you don't have to wait for 18 months. It was our old school life cycle of the upgrades.
Now it's time to take the test that accompanies this video. And be sure to fill out the contact info so we can keep in touch. We'll alert you when new Tech Talk training tutorials are released. We're in the process of creating a complete series of training videos covering topics including interfaces, microphones, digital audio workstations, mobile recording, wireless technology, monitor systems, and more. And we'll even be creating several product-specific tutorials. If you have comments or suggestions for helpful topics, please email us at techtalk@HalLeonard.com. Tech Talk training consists of 5 to 8 minute instructional videos accompanied by a brief test that helps reinforce the learning process. And we constantly focus on providing an inviting and painless learning experience that values your time and gets right to the point. Technical topics include interfaces, microphones, DAWs, mobile recording, monitors, wireless technology, data storage, live sound, the importance of acoustical treatment, and more. Plus, we also offer product-specific training sessions that have been produced in conjunction with many of the manufacturers we distribute. Tech Talk training videos start each topic at entry level, with subsequent videos providing additional depth. They're geared at helping those who might have some gaps in their knowledge, and they're also an excellent refresher for those with more substantial technical background. Each video provides talking points and insights to help keep customers interested. Also, we frequently offer questions for customers that will help identify the best products for their specific needs. Tech Talk training is designed to help increase sales by building confidence and providing a functional understanding of modern retail products. Everything we do in the training process is focused on helping music store owners, managers, and staff increase their product and technical knowledge, specifically to facilitate better connection with and service to the customer. And ultimately, Tech Talk training exists to help you succeed in your business. The best way to access Tech Talk training is through Hal Leonard's Dealer Access website. Simply log on, click the Resources tab, select Digital Resources, scroll down to the Tech Talk section, and click on Tech Talk Training. We'll also be including links to new Tech Talk videos in our monthly Tech Talk emails. If you're having troubles finding them, please contact your Hal Leonard rep for assistance. You can have $100,000 worth of esoteric, vintage, high-tech gear in your signal path, but if the microphone doesn't capture the sonic essence that's perfect for the recording, it's all a waste. Each microphone offers both a sonic personality and the potential to be much more than just an archival tool. For instance, if you and a buddy test 10 microphones on Joe to see how they'll work for his new song, 9 of the microphones might evoke an agreement that, yeah, that sounds a lot like Joe. However, chances are that one of the 10 mics might get the response, "Wow, Joe sounds great on that mic." It's important to note that in the vast majority of live sound and studio recording applications, there are 3 types of microphones to choose from: condenser, dynamic, and ribbon. Although there are other types of microphones, these are the ones that are best suited to high-quality sound reinforcement and studio recording, and they each offer a different set of strengths and weaknesses depending on their specific use. A condenser microphone captures the most accurate representation of complex audio waveforms. Because it's the mic type that's most capable of capturing fast attacks and waveform subtleties, A condenser mic is the preferred mic type for recording acoustic instruments like piano, drums and percussion, vocals, brass, woodwinds, and acoustic stringed instruments such as acoustic guitar, violin, viola, cello, and double bass. Dynamic microphones, also called moving coil mics, are the most durable of the mic types, which makes them a good choice for live sound reinforcement. They tend to sound best when they're close to the source, which also makes them well suited to live sound reinforcement. Dynamic mics are commonly used for live vocals, guitar, bass, and keyboard speaker cabinets, and kick drum, snare drum, and toms. They're also frequently used in the recording studio for guitar, bass, and keyboard speaker cabinets, and kick drum, snare drum, and toms. Ribbon microphones are the most fragile of all the mic types because the metallic ribbons used to capture the sound waves are thin and prone to damage from direct blasts of air. They aren't commonly used for live sound because they're not durable. But because they capture waveforms in a way that results in a smooth and warm sound, ribbon mics have become more and more popular in digital recording. The personality they bring to the table is not unlike the warm character contributed by analog recording. Ribbon microphones are frequently used for drum overheads, hi-hats, room mics, and guitar, bass, and keyboard speaker cabinets. They're also very good at smoothing out the sounds of strings, brass, woodwinds, and acoustic grand piano. Let's listen to some microphones. Some of the differences you hear at first are subtle. Others are more noticeable. As you learn more about how these mic types work, you'll start to fine-tune your hearing to the point where these differences will become much more obvious. Condenser mics capture quick attacks, full frequency response, and fine detail in the sound wave better than the other mic types. I'll explain more later about exactly why each mic type reacts the way it does, but for now, listen and compare the sounds of the following mics. Condenser mics tend to have a flat frequency response that doesn't favor lows, mids, or highs, but they're very good at capturing fast attacks called transients, such as the sound of the pick plucking the string or the stick hitting a cymbal. It's interesting, they don't sound brash in the high end, but the attacks are crystal clear, yet there's usually a very full and balanced sound. Dynamic mics have a larger, heavier diaphragm than the other mic types. They're the most durable. The old standby Shure SM57 and 58 are dynamic mics, but they tend to be the least accurate mics for capturing a clean attack and detail. Most moving coil mics capture an enhanced high end between 5 and 10 kHz and a weak low end below about 150 Hz or so. Because of a thing called the proximity effect, these mics are great for close miking. Compared to condenser mics, dynamic mics tend to have a more harsh-sounding high end. It's like the sound is thinner, with more apparent high-frequency content, but if you listen closely, the detail of the transient attack is blurred because the diaphragm is too bulky to actually capture it. Ribbon mics are known for their warm and smooth sound. They have a nice response to fast attacks, but are sometimes thought to have a duller tone than condenser or dynamic mics. However, they're very natural sounding. They tend to handle high-frequency EQ very well, and many engineers think that ribbon mics hear music more like the human ear does. These mics can be very boomy and bass-heavy when used close to the source, so it's a good idea to back them off a little more than the other mic types to compensate. These ribbon mics are a little farther away from the guitar, yet they still sound full in the low, mid, and low range. But you can still hear the clear transient without any harsh sounding edge. That's warm and smooth. If you intend to make great music and are serious about your craft, always be in search of a great sounding microphone. Listen and evaluate based on what you hear. Now it's time to take the test that accompanies this video, and be sure to fill out the contact info so we can keep in touch. We'll alert you when new Tech Talk training tutorials are released. We're in the process of creating a complete series of training videos covering topics including interfaces, microphones, digital audio workstations, mobile recording, wireless technology, monitor systems, and more. And we'll even be creating several product-specific tutorials. If you have comments or suggestions for helpful topics, please email us at techtalk@halleonard.com.